Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gifts Since 92. Give you guys the latest exclusive content on new music, entertainment news, and inspiration quotes by me. The Queen's back at again. Alright guys, I've been on a roll with these videos, and I'm telling you guys, my channel, I'm not taking any prisoners. I will be honest, I will be my authentic self, because when I call out BS, it's BS. A spade is a spade. Now, guys, please check out my last video. It's rant number 35 when I talk about Misha B and her experience in the music industry, how she has faced discrimination, prejudice in the music industry. Please check that out. She's a talented black artist. She makes dope music, beautiful, gorgeous, talented. Now this is going to be rant number 37. And the things that I'm hearing, I'm seeing these artists speak out their truth about what's going on, what had happened during their experience in the music industry. I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what people like my videos or not. I want to tell you guys how I feel based on a lot of things that I have seen, I have witnessed, and I have heard some horrible stories about people going through this stuff, and this has been going on for years. So the talented Alexandra Burke, I have watched her video speaking out about her experience in the music industry, her being a black woman, of course, her being a black artist, and how people mistreated her. So she speaks out against racism, the industry politics, colorism, a lot of stuff, and it's the same thing. And my thing is, this whole narrative of being a black artist, that's why I go hard on my black artists. I always support my talented black artists, because it's always a stigma like, oh, your music isn't good enough for mainstream, or you're not good enough to make music that can appeal to your white audience, which is BS. Because my thing is, you can make whatever kind of music that you want to make. You can make whatever sound that you want to make. You can be innovative. You can be creative. It doesn't matter what your audience is. I mean, yeah, in some ways, but your music is supposed to bring people together. Period. Your music is supposed to bring people together. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're pink, blue, whatever. If your music sounds good and you have the talent, capitalization letters, T-A-L-E-N-T, you are going to do great things. The issue is the music industry has always done this to black artists. It's always this, well, because you're not light enough. You're not the standard of what we want to sell with your music. But I'm sitting here like, as a fan of my favorite artists, I'm looking at like all these people that I've supported throughout the years. A lot of these people, most of them in my CD collection, are black artists. For real, black artists. Regardless of the shade, regardless of like everything, the gender. My thing is, the music industry has done this for years. So for Alexandra Burke to speak out about her experiences in the music business, how she was told at first, she spoke about the situation when she was 16, she was getting herself out there, and she was told to get an opportunity. She's like, you're a dope artist, you're talented and all that. Okay, cool. At 16, you're excited. I was 16 before. I was 16 once, but especially like when you're working towards a goal, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like you feel like people are catching on to your talent and your worth as an artist. And then she even said, like, that situation, she said, like, a couple months later, the same, I think was it the same person, was it a different person, because I want to tell the story right, but I remember, like, there was this person that was like, well, we already have one black woman, we don't need another black artist, we don't need another black woman. And for her, it was like, really? I'm talented too, and this is what I'm saying. This has been going on for years, and this is why I keep preaching you guys about buying the music, supporting more than one artist. It's okay to like and embrace more than one artist. this whole thing about you only can have 1 or 2 people to make it in the music industry, this narrative needs to change as soon as possible, because a lot of people who, especially like even in mainstream, and even she's from the UK, she makes dope music. I've heard Alexandra Burke, and there are a whole bunch of UK artists that are talented. They make good music, but that's the thing. I feel like with her, she went through the same thing. It's unfortunate. Like I said, as a black person, it's like you get told, well, you know, you have to look a certain way to appeal. Like you have to be strict to your identity. And when she explained about how for her, she was told, well, you know, you have to strip down. It's like just to freaking appeal to a white audience. I mean, and my thing is, okay, but how about when we talk about some of these white artists that do hip-hop and R&B music, which is nothing wrong. I'm not tearing them down. You know, and other artists that make hip-hop, R&B music, whatever kind of music they make. But when it comes to black artists, it's like, no, you can't make this kind of music. You have to stay in one box. So my thing is, you see how the contradiction and the hypocritical, it's like people are just, some people get free passes. Some people do. And especially, like I said, black artists, I even have said this time again, I said some people, the ignorant ones, even like from your own black community, tear down some of these black artists, and I'm like, okay, but y'all will turn around and complain about, well, we don't see a whole lot of talented black artists. We all need to support them. If you want to see these black artists win, you want them to be successful, you need to buy the music. You need to buy the music. By buying the music, these artists can have more opportunities. They can be able to showcase their talent. They can be able to like book stages. They can be able to go to these award shows. Now listen, we already know how some like these award shows like the Grammys and the VMAs, like I said, personally I've always have watched award shows. I've watched BET Awards, I've watched VMA Awards, I watched the Grammys. I like the BET Awards, especially the BET Awards, because I grew up watching that award show for years as a little girl. The VMAs, I like the VMAs. The Grammys, I used to like the Grammys back in the day, because the Grammys, it was a lot of variety of like more diversity in music, but like throughout the years it has really got to this like popularity, you know, politics and all that. But regardless, I feel like with Alexandra Burke, you know, she definitely spoke out about experiences as a black woman, and how before she was afraid to speak out, she was vulnerable at times, and even when she expressed her feelings about how she felt like she just felt isolated. She felt like she couldn't speak out about things that was bothering her. Another key interesting point, her mother, which like I said was and still is a key vessel for her resilience. Such a huge inspiration to her, because her mother, she said she was raised by a single mother of 4 kids. So she have always said like her mother has always been the backbone of the family. And she encouraged her to be herself, express herself, be independent, be strong, be resilient, don't let anything bring you down. And at the same time, it was heartbreaking that her mother passed away a few years ago, and I was like, I almost want to cry, because I'm like, a lot of people go through things, you know, and it's sad, because a lot of stuff she was going through, that happened, and a lot of other things that were coming her way, like she was going through so much. But then, like I said, Alexandra Burke, she pushed through. She stayed resilient. Also, another key point, when she said that she was labeled as a diva, or she was labeled as aggressive. And she explained how like some people like, you know, you take photos and stuff, you need to, you know, you're not smiling a lot, like you're not smiling more, like you need to smile more. And it's not like I know people take pictures, you know, however you express yourself. Maybe she just, like I said, didn't want to smile, because you don't have to smile in pictures. Like, you can do like a little smile, but like a facial expression of like you know, like you're happy and stuff. But people were controlling her and dictating to her how she was supposed to like move and do stuff, and you know how she was supposed to express herself. And she also got labeled aggressive. Well, you know, so when you take some of your pictures, you're labeled as
when you take, like she said something, some people were saying, they said, well, you know, your pictures, you know, you kind of seem to be aggressive. Your pictures, they come across as you being aggressive. And she was like, well, you know, not really. I mean, I just took some pictures. I mean, my pictures, you know how sometimes like people do a pose, modeling and stuff like that. But it's kind of like when people just nitpick you for every little single thing. It's like no one is satisfied. It's like no one. It's almost like narcissists. So those people around her were narcissists, because I'm like, you know, it's crazy. And she was labeled as, oh, you're, you know, aggressive, or well, you wear your hairstyle a certain way, you seem to be aggressive. And it's like, yeah, you know, I understand, because a black woman is like, yeah, you know, black women can catch hell. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. You know, I have empathy for Alexandra Burke, because even for me being a black woman, I have really, as I reflect back on my life, I have really struggled with insecurity, self-doubt. I still struggle with these things today. Now, I feel like a little bit I'm getting better, but still there's some things that I still go through with like my identity, as far as like how do I feel about myself and even being myself. And I've had people that always nitpick me. I know that feeling. So I empathize with Alexandra Burke, because I know that feeling's like always picking on you. Like they're not satisfied with what you're doing. It's not even a healthy constructive criticism. It's more like, oh, well, you're not doing this, so that's not good enough, or you should be doing this, or if you would have been like this, or you would have done like this, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like Alexandra Burke, I'm so glad and proud of her for speaking out her experiences with racism and all the BS, because these artists really go through it. And she even talked about like, well, how can you say, well, you know, I mean, you know, you have to work 10 times harder because you're a black person to really make it. And I'm like, everybody gotta fucking work harder. Really, this whole 10 times harder bull is just like, you have to work hard, period. It doesn't, and this is what, I'm gonna tell you something, I'm sick and tired of this bullshit, you have to work 10 times harder. How about just say, you have to work hard? Because when you say, it's like how people use their words, they say, well, you have to work 10 times hard. I mean, I understand like sarcasm, but you should say you have to work hard. You have to know where you go. You have to have good work ethic. All this, you have to work 10 times way hard. It's like, really? No one is the freaking superhero. No one is like, no one is no, I guess, whatever. But you see how, with that being said, it's always been like that for black artists. It's almost like, that's why at the same time, I feel like at the time, especially as I reflect back on the black artists that I have supported through thick and thin, it's like I've always bought their music. I've said, well, they make good music. As long as they make good music, I'll always buy their albums. I'll always see them in concert. And that's it. And that's why the power as fans, we should have the power, and we do have the power to promote, to buy the music. Because even Alexandra Burke said, you know, through those difficult times in her life that she endured, her fans have really helped her carry throughout these years. Her fans have been her backbone too. Her fans have been like the people that have always wanted to see her win, that have always supported her genuinely. And that's why I feel like it's the same thing. It's kind of like now, you know, as far as I'm concerned, because more artists have spoke out too. Lay-In from Little Mix, she spoke out about things. Normani, she spoke out about things. Misha B, you know, and I know it's going to be more artists that will speak out about their experiences, because it's kind of like this. It's sad that this music industry is just, you know, structured as like you have to be perfect 24/7. Perfection, the reality of perfection, we're not perfect. And I understand in that mentality, like, oh, you have to be perfect, but with some things you're not perfect. We all grow, we all learn, we all go through things, we make mistakes. But this is why I feel like as more videos as I talk about, my thing is, Just buy the music, support your faves. Don't get into the BS. Keep going and just enjoy the music. The music industry really now, was, especially what they're lacking. I'm gonna tell you something. What's lacking is the support of real, authentic artists. That's what's lacking. In the music industry, they're always going to promote gimmicks. Now listen, I'm not putting nobody down who's a gimmick. I'm not here to attack gimmicks. But it's like the music industry is like for authentic artists. Just like I kept telling you guys, some artists that I supported throughout thick and thin, how they were fighting for their art, how, they wanted to be themselves. Like they also wanted to connect with the mainstream audience, but they also want to stay true to their sound. And unfortunately, they was with a record label that just wanted to strip away of their identity as an artist, strip away like that part of what they created as an artist from the underground days, while they were like underground artists, independent artists, before they got signed to a record label. That's true, because it's kind of like, yeah. And listen, people can have their different opinions. I'm here for it. Let's have an open discussion. Let's be respectful. Let's, like I said, see each other's perspectives. And please let me know any artists that you guys feel like are so underrated, or any personal stories from other artists that you feel like, yeah, because really it's a broken record. And my thing is, hey, I'm all about the music. I'm all about culture. I'm all about the arts. But yeah, Alexandra Burke, I'm so happy that she got to unleash and really show her vulnerability, because I'm telling you, it really broke my heart. I was just watching her video, how she explained how she felt, and I had a connection with her too. I said, yeah, because I've been there before too. I've been there where people try to always make me into something that I wasn't. And I feel like listening to her story about, all that racism and all that stuff, it's kind of like she talks about even, and like I said, her as a black woman, I know colorism, she's brown skin, she's gorgeous. Alexandra Burke is like brown skin, dark skin, but she's gorgeous. But see, that's the thing, it's like the only way for people to change and make a difference is when people start buying the music more. And I feel like, yeah, it can definitely happen again, because this stigma of like black artists not really reaching that level of success as their white peers in music or everybody else in music. It's like, no, if you're talented, let your talent speak for itself. Put in that hard work, have integrity, and know your worth as artists. But with that being said, yeah, I feel like Alexandra Burke, she really made some really, good discussions, some reflection, and I'm so glad that she's still making music. I'm glad that she never gave up on herself. I'm so glad she never gave up on her, period. I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. I love seeing people push through with resilience, because I know how it feels too. So, with that being said, how you guys feel about Alexandra Burke, telling her story and sharing her experiences in the music industry? What are your thoughts? What are your honest opinions? Please, let's have a good open discussion. Tell me how you guys feel down below. Alright, so stay tuned on the next episode of Get Cincinnati 2. Please not be afraid to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below. Please not be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Please not be afraid to hit that notification button. And as always, stay tuned on the next episode of Get Cincinnati 2, Dragon Ball Z narrative reference. Peace, bye-bye, you girls exiting out. The Super Saiyan's out.